Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack. You know what? Fuck it. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. Hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I'm kicking. I appreciate all your support. I'm very humbled by it. So what's going on in California? Los Angeles is off the hook, right? Yo, you thought it wasn't?
Hey, they're blowing shit up over there, eh?
Let me tell you about LA. Los Angeles has always been a stronghold for the Chicano community, for the Mexican national community. When Mexicanos come over from Mexico, whether it's illegally or legally or however you want to spin it or twist it, they come over and they go right into the mix of Los Angeles. So Los Angeles has a very heavy presence, a lot of culture, a lot of history of Mexican and Mexican-American people being in the Los Angeles area. You know, it's Los Angeles for a reason. Now, yesterday was a day of the immigrant, right? A day that they wanted to protest and make a stand and plant the flag and say, hey, we're not going to go to work. We're going to shut this motherfucker down. We're going to show you how real it is when Mexicans or Latinos, period, raza, don't go to work, don't go to school, don't go to a lot of places, man. How ingrained they are in the fabric of America, how needed the migrant worker is, how needed that Mexican at Denny's is, man, or that Mexican that's building your home, you know, at the construction site, or cutting your lawn, or working at the bank, you know, because Mexicans don't all just fucking mow lawns. Some of them work at the jewelry store too, right? So there was definitely a day where a lot of Mexicans, and a lot of them stood strong, and there was a lot of solidarity, a lot of canalismo, a lot of realness, and there was protests that happened in Los Angeles, but those protests took a turn. They took a hostile turn, and that doesn't mean that everybody that went there, you know, had bad intentions when they got there. Not at all. A lot of the people went there to fight the power. A lot of people went there because they have family members that are getting deported unjustly. They have, friends and neighbors that they feel are getting preyed upon, are getting questioned. I mean, it feels bad when you're a regular citizen or you're a regular person. You're just going to your job, and next, you know, black SUVs pull up on you and they're questioning you, demanding birth certificates and social security cards. You know, people are going to trip. You know, I've already tasted that situation. You know, I already had to stick up on the behalf of someone. Now I know what you're going to say. Well, Gunner, you voted for Trump, so that you're going to get. Look at this shit's been going on before him, and it's going to continue to go on after him. The Mexican people have always been oppressed. The raza has always been oppressed to some degree. That's what it is. Now, I don't like it. I don't condone it. And believe me, if there's a march happening, I might just step my foot into it. Because at the end of the day, man, I do have family that are puro Mexicano, straight from Mexico, man, that have come over legal and illegally. And, you know, a lot of them just went straight to work. They built a better life. A lot of them got their papers. You know, they came over illegal, but they figured it out how to get their papers. And they went and did that because they didn't want to lose what they had worked for, what they had established. So there's a lot of people in solidarity that were in Los Angeles yesterday and cities like San Jose, Fresno. I mean, all these different cities throughout Northern and Southern California that protested. Okay. And this isn't something that's that just happened one day. This is something that's continuing to happen every day. They're out there putting feet on the concrete and standing together. Is it going to accomplish nothing? One never knows, does one? Probably not. But one thing it does show the people of America is that, man, when the raza comes together, united, they're a force to be reckoned with. Their voices will be heard. Now, not everybody that went to these protests did it with good intentions. There were some idiots, just like any other thing. They use protests, they use melees and riots and things that happen, and they prey upon that. And they utilize it just like they utilize the fires to go do breaking and enterings and burglaries and stealing people's stuff. You know, there's always going to be that cutthroat person that sees it as they're opportunistic. They see it as an opportunity to bamboozle, swindle, swiggle, and get on in there, man, and take something for themselves. Scandalous individuals. But that's the nature of the human. Some people are righteous and real and just about their cause, and some don't give a fuck about you, me, or anyone else. If there's a way for them to steal a Louis Vuitton bag, vámonos. That's it. That's how it goes. So there was a lot of people there that ingrained themselves into these protests, and instead of keeping it peaceful or speaking their piece and having their voices heard, they started to do donuts and cars, which in Northern California we would call sideshows, right? They started to show gang activity, burning of American flags, disrespect, racial slurs were being thrown out there. It's turning like everything else does racial. It's turning like everything else does criminal. And that's unfortunate, man, because something like this, one thing about Mexican people is they're very prideful. Raza, period. Mexicans, Salvadorians, anyone brown and black and white. I mean, everybody. But when I'm speaking on brown people here, they're very prideful people. They got a lot of pride in their origins, their culture, a lot of pride in their cities, their barrios, their neighborhoods, their towns. And so when people come together like that, there's always going to be just a few that utilize what the streets taught them as far as the criminal ways and try to get over and fuck it up for everyone. I believe if you're going to protest and you have every right to, you should be civil about it. You should be intelligent because that's what people see. That's what they're going to show on the news. The people that are intelligent and carry themselves to a certain standard in a certain way, they're going to stand out. They're going to display leadership qualities. Don't go in there and burn flags and destroy your own neighborhoods and use opportunities to sideshow and steal shit and hate or, if you have opposition, okay, if there's another side that's protesting, and in this case, there was other protesters that were, rallying up the Mexican community. They were saying, go back, go back. I had people the other day tell me, hey, take your ass back. To where? To molest us where I was born. You know what I mean? So I can't go there. They want to kill me. I mean, like, what am I going to do here? I'm from America. I'm American. And most of these people that are demanding change and are fighting for the right to stay in America are burning American flags. I didn't get it. It made no sense to me, right? But I do understand the solidarity. So, yesterday in Los Angeles, they had some protests and a lot of them got real hostile. A lot of them went wild. But I expected that. There's a lot of people that are fed up, that are pissed off. There's a lot of people. You see a lot of anguish on the news when you see these mothers being ripped away from their kids and people being deported. And it's cold because a lot of these people have been here for 20, 30, 40 years. This is all they know. They wouldn't know where to begin back in Mexico. They've established their life here. Now, albeit, you got to do it the right way. That's the truth, man. It's just like when I did crime. Hey, I did it the wrong way. There was a consequence for my action, right? Did I like it? No. Did anyone get out there and protest in the streets for me? No. But this is a bigger issue, and it's not just a singular or personal thing. It's a lot of people being harassed and a lot of people being snatched up. And I recognize and I realize that. And I'm proud. I'm very proud to say that the Mexicana people showed solidarity and stood together for a just cause. Okay? And the cause is this. Because I'm not a flip-flop, flim-flam artist, right? I'm not going to vote for someone and his policies and then get mad when and then I'll say, oh man, I'm sorry I voted for him. No, it is what it is. Some policies are going to be good. The same things that make you laugh will make you cry, right? Some things I'm not going to understand or condone. And the immigration thing, I'll never understand it. I mean, I understand it to a point of national security and all that. But when it comes to tearing a woman away from her children or children away from a woman, that I can never be behind, ever, right? And to me, any one man who could sit there and watch that or even do that, and I'm talking to the ICE, that is the most cowardice shit ever. I don't give a fuck what country you're from. You're a human being and Earth belongs to everybody, right? God gave us Earth. All these imaginary lines drawn in the sand, you did that. The people voted on that. Oh, we're from here, we're not from there. I'm from Earth, homie. Everything belongs to us. God gave it all to us. It's man that tore it up and caused division and lines in the sand. It's just like gangs. Every vote is the same. Every barrio got Mexicanos. Hey, look at my dad, homie. He grew up on the east side, but I'm from the west side. Now I don't like the east side. I'll kill them. They'll kill me. I'll go do life in prison for killing the guy from the east side when my own father's from there, right? Does it make any sense? No. You know, I had a daughter that was a Southsider chick. She kicked it with Southsiders, was from a neighborhood. She wasn't really a Southsider, but I'm saying she thought she was a Sureña and this, and that. And that was my daughter. Her dad was a Norteño, but she was that. My mother was from 18th Street. My father fucking was from deep South San Modesto. I've had family that are North, family that are South, family that are bulldogs, right? All the same, but couldn't even be in the same proximity or same areas, a lot of us, because of the gang vines, the gang bullshit, because of lines that we drew in the sand. Well, the same thing goes when it comes to countries and states and cities and borders and all that. There's imaginary lines drawn by man in the sand, and to say you can't come here or we can't come there, it's bullshit. Everyone should be allowed to work and receive the same liberties and freedoms everywhere, but different countries, some are farther behind, some are more advanced. It just is what it is. America being one of the more that's advanced, there's a lot of people that want to come and live the life, of freedoms and liberties, because compared to where they're coming from, and there's no jobs, no money, it's poverty. Now, that doesn't mean America is the greatest, because no. They stay trying to make America great again, man. And it just keeps getting worse, right? That's the truth. Prices skyrocket. I mean, for the people that are fighting, hey, hell no, we won't go, Charlie. There's a lot of people like, I'm going to go because eggs cost too much. I said, right? That's just it. It's the truth. But what I didn't understand about what happened yesterday, and it went down in the Los Angeles area. And like I said, the criminal element, people frustrated, anger, all that cumulated into incidences. Now, there wasn't one big incident where people were killed. There was people that were hurt. There was people that were trampled. There was people that, just shouldn't have never been out there because they weren't in the right health or mind frame to be out there. Because there's always going to be shit stirs, people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or have no intelligence, or have done no homework, that are going to push propaganda to you and get you all riled up. And in the end, they're going to slither off like a culebra, a snake, all into the crowd as you're getting apprehended by the cops and ICE. Now, when the cops go out there and show force, that's going to rile the people up too. People are going to be like, it's us versus them. And it shouldn't be that way. And cops shouldn't be going out there with batons and force, looking like they're already aggressive, because that's going to, hey, when you're aggressive shit going to happen, especially when you're dealing with black and brown. Okay, black and brown don't take too kindly to a whole bunch of motherfuckers in riot gear talking about what they're going to do, homie. We got to see it to believe it. Get off where you're mad at. That's what we were always told. It's the way we grew up. The mentality we grew up is, if someone comes with weaponry and tries to pose a threat, well, fuck it, let's get threatened then. And let's go. It could go both ways. I'm not here to push violence or propaganda or nothing like that. I'm here to say that's the way people perceive it. That's the way I would perceive it. Okay, if I see people with batons and riot gear, well, fuck it. Let's get to a riot then, right? I didn't know this was one. I thought this was a positive protest, a friendly protest. And then you got to understand, there's going to be knuckleheads everywhere. So, but what I didn't like was this, or I didn't understand. It's not that I don't like, it's I don't understand. At the whole get down behind the protest is fighting for illegal immigration, fighting for people that have come over, right? And I have a lot of family that have done that. So don't act like I'm some wood brother that wants you to fuck up out of here, right? Nah, none of that, right? If you come over illegal, okay, you did a crime. It's a lightweight crime. It is what it is, man. Most people are not coming over here to sell drugs or they're going to show you there are people that have done that, right? There's bad people everywhere. There's more bad Americans here doing more crime here than illegal immigrants doing crime here. That's the facts, right? But you do something that's illegal, okay, you got to face the consequences. That's cool. But then you have a whole bunch of people, Chicanos, Mexicanos, Mexican Americans, a whole bunch of people. And there was a lot of people that weren't even Mexican that were just showing solidarity and unity, that were fighting for this cause, saying they're mad because you're deporting our wives, you're deporting our mothers, you're deporting our children. These are the things that they're hollering during the protests. And then some of them are burning American flags and talking about, America's racist, we don't want to be here. But what are you arguing about? If you don't want to be here, bounce. It's like, I want to be here, right? And I want everyone else to be here because, like I said, I'm a firm believer in this land belongs to everybody, humans, right? So the argument was pretty frivolous. It's not going to change anything, but it did show the American people that Mexicans, the raza, are very, very, they're very, put it like this, they're going to stand their ground. Very quiet people, but vocal when they need to be. But they are very necessary in the fabric of what's going on, especially in states like California, throughout the whole West Coast, Texas, Arizona. Imagine you got these southwestern states. You got Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. Then you got the West Coast, where Mexicans and the raza has an overwhelming numbers. There's a lot of Mexicanos. Well, you got to understand, all California used to be Mexico, right? So you're always going to have a big influence there of Chicanos, Tejanos, Mexicanos, Burqueños, all that, right? How do you say it in Arizona? AZ, baby, right? There's a gang of Mexicans. And at the same time, with all that, you're gonna a lot of the jobs, a lot of the livelihood, a lot of the agriculture, a lot of the fast food restaurants, a lot of the things that people depend on every day in everyday life. Every time you go to Denny's, every time you go to In-N-Out Burger, every time you go to these different places, you see Mexican cooking, cleaning, building homes. They build a home in 2 days and shit. All that, pouring concrete, roofing, weed eating. I mean, just everything. All these they're laborers, man. Hard jobs, back-breaking jobs, right? Jobs that a lot of motherfuckers want to wake up to do, right? Mexicanos are on it. And making that money, doing the right thing. And a day without a migrant or a day without a Mexican or a day without a raza, period, man, that's imagine if it carried on for a week to a month to a year, them eggs ain't going to taste the same at Denny's no more. They're not, right? There's always going to be people that say, fuck all that. I'm not trying to be involved in all that. I'm just trying to do me. And with Mexicans, let me explain this to you. That is kind of the culture that we come from. Look through the mini blinds all nosy and shit. Like, damn, they're fucking rating over there. Let's get better than them us. Boom. Fuck them. Right? That's the mentality. Like, hey, I'm going to stay away from that. It's none of my business. None of my business mentality, right? But I'm just happy to see that people are standing their ground for what they believe in. But all this being hostile towards, I seen people out there doing the protesting, people that look like they were from barrios, gang members, or I don't know if they were just out there because it was the cool thing to do and it was what's cracking. Hey, look, I'm gonna pop at that chick. She got a big old ass, the one that's waving the American flag on fire. I'm just shit ass, right? I don't know if they were out there for whatever reason they were out there, but a lot of them were out there throwing shit and doing stuff and talking about, man, Puro Mexico and this. Homie, you have the barrio busting on your stomach real big. Your barrio's in America, eh? You know what I mean? Don't forget that. It's just a trip. Like, people are confused and mixed up. And all this is over some policies that really, at the end of the day, I don't agree with. And I don't think a lot of us agree with them. And you have to take a stand. You do. And I'm just so happy Mexicans finally are taking a stand. But you'll take a stand. You can't send us over the border. You can't do this. And meanwhile, gangs of Mexicans in prison and out of prison are killing each other. For what? Hell no, we won't go. You're giving them the justifications and the artillery and the weaponry and the tools to kill each other, right? And give the administration and the people saying, see, look what they do. Look at what type of people they are. We have to come together on all fronts. And I understand, you can't just say that and do that. It's not that easy. It's not that simple. But it's funny, man, when it comes to like a race riot or something like that, all Mexicans, no matter what side you're from, will come together against the blacks or the whites. Or when it comes to something like this, all Mexicans stand together, man, because they have a true belief. But when it comes to gangs and stuff, nah, I ain't fucking with that, vato. That's que nah. His homeboy came on, homeboy 25 years ago. If I see him, it's just, it's crazy. The way I look at it, man, if you're going to do something and you want to get something established and you want to make changes, you have to do it peacefully. Peaceful protest, positive, peaceful protesting, is the way to go. And you idiots that are going out there and burning flags and throwing things and causing chaos because you think it's cool, all you're doing is making the gente look worse, man. You're making the gente look bad. You're turning it into something it shouldn't be. Hey, if there's an aggressor and you're playing victim, or you say, hey, man, we're being victimized here, then be that, bro. Yeah, you have every right to fight back, but do it with the mind. Don't do it with the fucking mouth, right? It doesn't work. And if you are going to use your mouth and vocalize, be professional in your manner. I'm just saying. Anyways, man, Los Angeles was popping last night. I also am going to do a video about San Jose because it's really get cracking off in San Jose. And look, let me explain this to you. Northern California, Southern California, protest for the Mexicanos. Northern California, protest for the Mexicanos. Yet, motherfuckers can't get along. Fights, gang fights. Oh, man, they're from up north. Or, they're from down south. And all that. But Vatos are fighting for the same cause. Wake up and realize that. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. We are all human. All this belongs together, man. Everyone needs to realize it, or guess what? Someone's going to make them realize it. They're gone.